everyone to CULZ Fun Facts, episode 10. Today we're talking about Poltergeist. This topic was brought to us by Mike Cassidy. Thanks, Mike, for your topic. First, I want to start off by apologizing. I've been gone for so long, guys. I'm sorry. Been getting a new computer set up, so we're finally back online and everything. It's pretty nice. Makes me able to do a lot more for you guys a lot quicker and better. So yeah, that's really been the biggest holdup, and time. We just haven't had the time recently, but we're back today. I'd also like to note that this is the third to last episode of this season, so keep tuned in so you can keep up with the last couple episodes here before we're gone for a little while. And then we'll go on to Season 2. So if you have any topics that you want for Season 2, submit those on our Facebook page. But let's get into Poltergeist today. Today we're talking about Poltergeist. Poltergeist, most everyone knows. You've seen movies. You've seen all the movies where objects are thrown, people are hit, talked to. Recently, Paranormal Activity, those movies have really touched on poltergeist activity, movement of objects, sounds, banging, lights turning off and on, voices, so on and so forth. Poltergeist, the word poltergeist is German. The first part of it, Polter, it means to make noise, and Geist means ghost. So the literal translation of poltergeist is noisy ghost, which is kind of funny. But yeah, they're kind of like troublesome spirits. Sometimes they're entities. Poltergeist activity is also shown in demonic spirit activity. With demonic spirits, it's like simple stuff that appears to be poltergeist activity, movement of objects, knocking, banging, tapping. One of the big things when I went through the research, a lot of it was on voices, audible voices that you can hear with your ear is poltergeist activity. And I guess you could go both ways on that. I guess poltergeist could do audible voices and stuff. Poltergeist activity is a little bit more like just movement and stuff like that. Stuff that really unnerves you. Items going lost, items moving from one location to another location, things falling, things being thrown. That's really the biggest stuff for poltergeist activity. But as I was going through the research and stuff on it, I came across a gentleman. His name is, let me see here in all my case notes, William G. Roll. And he did a quite thorough study on poltergeist activity. He went through 116 cases of poltergeist activity. That's a lot of cases of poltergeist activity. And during this research, he believed that these disturbances were caused by children or teenagers when they had high emotion. They were scared. They were feeling a lot of fear or anxiety. They would have recurrent neurological responses, and they were almost like epileptic. Let me see here, epileptic symptoms. And he believes, and this goes into parapsychology, which is it's kind of like ghost hunting, I guess, in the para stage. Parascience it's not seen as actual science, but that's why we're here to try to make ghost hunting, paranormal research, scientific research. But parapsychology, it focuses on the mind and how we interact with the world and stuff, parapsychology. But he believes that these children and these teenagers, when they have these neurologic responses, It can cause spontaneous psychokinesis. Sorry about that. A little tongue-tied. Spontaneous psychokinesis. Kinesis. Yeah, psychokinesis. Sorry about that. I got really tongue-tied there. Psychokinesis, which is where your mind has enough power from whatever is in the environment to move objects. And that's what he believed that it was that it was these children having these neural reactions to their fear or their emotions, and it was causing them to have these spontaneous psychokinesis events where they would move an object or they would cause knocking with their own minds, which is very strange. I mean, if you're going into telekinesis and psychokinesis and stuff like that, that's it's pretty far from what we're studying. There's also been other scientists that have done other research to try to disprove these events and stuff, ones that cannot be proven that it's something else. And what they've come up with is under certain houses, there'll be underwater rivers that can cause movement of the house or vibrations of the house, making objects move. That really wouldn't explain objects flying across the room. It could cause tapping or something sliding across the table, I guess, if it was strong enough, depending on the weight of the object and so on and so forth. Another one was seismic activity. Sometimes houses were formed on like fault lines and stuff like that, and it would cause quakes that would move objects, or it would cause the house to shift, which would throw objects through the house. And the last one I read was on air current disturbances. Folks that have a open fireplace and stuff like that, where it's got a chimney that comes down and so on and so forth. If there was enough air that would come down that chimney, sometimes it could blow pictures off the wall, mirrors off the wall, and all sorts of stuff off the shelves. But there's certain instances where this is not a logical response to what's happening. If you've ever tuned into Ghost Adventures, their documentary, they visited, I believe it was the Gold Rush. I could be wrong on that. I apologize if I'm wrong. But they were investigating that at night, and they were viewing into a room with the camera, and suddenly a brick flies up across the room. Doesn't just, skid across the floor. It wasn't on a table and it toppled off. It picked itself up and flew across the room. And I'm sorry, but there's no underground river or seismic activity or air current that's going to throw a brick across the room. And I don't know. Poltergeist activity is pretty extreme. It's a spirit that really is troubled and focusing on either a location or a person, and they can focus directly on a person and cause them these occurrences. But really, if it's a poltergeist activity, just ignore it. Similar with demonic activity, the more you pay attention to it, the more you're going to notice it, the more it gets worse. If it bothers you, you can call a priest or something, and they might be able to get rid of it. But really, it's just a spirit that's having some issues. He either doesn't like you, or he doesn't like you in their place, he, she, whatever. And they just cause this activity to startle you, to rustle your nerves. So just ignore it. it's really kind of cool. It's very scary though, to have that kind of activity going on. Um, I know when I lived in my birth home in Littleton, Colorado here, um, we had footsteps that you could hear through the house. We had a rocking chair that at night would just start rocking back and forth. And people will say that the rocking chair was wind current, and the footsteps were probably an animal or something in the crawl space. But it wasn't just like once in a while, it was every night. But it was never malign or anything. It never hurt us. It was just there. It was living with us. And eventually it went away. And it was almost kind of sad because it was almost comforting to know that there was something else there. And that's really where I got my start in the paranormal, as a child. But yeah, sorry I'm reminiscing. But yeah, poltergeist activity, it's nothing to be worried about. If you get hit with an object, hopefully it's not sharp. So stay safe. If you got a poltergeist in your house, just let it be, you know? Especially if it turns out to be a demonic spirit, you really don't want to pay attention to it. The less you pay attention to it, the better. But thank you for joining me for CULZ Fun Facts, episode 10, Poltergeist. And thank you, Mike, once again for your topic. See you all later.